Hi guys. There we go. Here's looking at you kids. It's raining here. It's pretty dismal. But it's a nice excuse to be inside and, fold laundry and get about the yoga of the householder, which at this time of year is hard. There's so much going on suddenly, and the garden calls and all of that. And in a similar way, like the rush of activity in spring, I was thinking about if you've been blocking certain feelings because you're feeling vulnerable or whatever, when you begin to unblock, either it can seem just like I'm numb. I've put out the fire. There's nothing here, but they're embers, and you can blow on them, or it can feel like a fire hose. The pressure is built up so much from all this unprocessed emotion that just like it knocks you down. It's so forceful. And either way is there's either a period of waiting that's sort of suspenseful and a little weird. Have I destroyed this? Or like, holy shit, will this destroy me? And often I think the first one to come back is fear. This sort of fear of, have I destroyed it, or is this going to destroy me? And it's also usually a resurgence of the fear that made you block the feelings in the first place. Because that's sort of like the cork you have to get out of the bottle, whatever it was that it scared you. And I think what you feel, once you begin to feel again, is very telling. Because people can get so scared, they pull back into the bottle, put the genie back in, put the cork back on. What feelings? But they will out somewhere. That's the thing about it. The good and the bad, whatever it is, they want expression. And that doesn't mean you let it rip and just, go nuts on people. But first to yourself, you have to let it come up. Rilke says, let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. He was probably 23 when he wrote that. How does somebody get to be that wise? No feeling is final. So the fright will pass, and the awe will pass, and the enthusiasm will pass, and the terror, feelings flow. They don't freeze. They're not static. They're an energy. They have ebbs, and they have flows, and ripples, and degrees of intensity, and duh. But sometimes we can forget that when we go numb. Everything seems homogeneous. Everything seems the same. I don't really feel very much about anything. The depressed heart will tell you, oh, well, nothing matters enough. Queen of Wands would tell you, I call bullshit on that. Queen of Wands would say, that's a stupid way of thinking about it. That gets you right nowhere. That puts an end to a certain degree to your life. This is somehow sort of, I think, therefore I'm not. Queen of Wands, wands are feeling energies. They're not cups, but they're open-hearted and warm and, open to life as it unfolds and tapped in. This is like tapping out. Perhaps this Queen of Wands is coming back to life. Three of Pentacles. That for some reason disappointed me. I wanted to see some big major arcana card or something, but minor arcana card in Pentacles energy, this is a card of cooperation. And for some reason, I sometimes think of it as like, that's it, that's all. Which is not a great way of thinking about what you can build together with somebody. Under Queen of Wands. Eight of Swords. I see this as a card of keeping the feelings at bay. Being caught in this mental constraint that says, if I stay inside, if I stay bound and blindfolded and not moving, I won't get hurt. I won't feel. I'll just think, and I'll let my thinking mind imprison me. It's like a self-imposed prison. Under 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands. It's almost like two cards of ending of a cycle. It's like this way of thinking is done and I'm taking out the trash. I'm unburdening myself of whatever this painful, round and round, questions never answered, understanding never reached. Because something about my beliefs kept me from real truth. I've inverted these for some reason. Let's put them back. So this is kind of the acquired detritus, like if you've pruned a tree and you want new growth, this is the old growth that you cut back, the old growth, which allows the life force to go into the new thing. Hermit energy, the first major arcana, a card of Virgo, a card of the inner wisdom that would know, really what's over, what do we let go of? Based on our real wisdom, our deepest dive into ourselves, the 9 card. 9's are a card of self, Hermit. The inner journey. It's under this 3 of Pentacles, also earth energy. It's cooperation on the outside, in a tangible way, building with somebody based on this inner wisdom. It's cooperation, but it's in no way coercion. It's not codependent. This is interdependent. We need each other to build this. We can't do it without each other. And yet, there's this card of individuality. And I think that one of the things about a kind of elevated way of understanding things is an acceptance of contradictions and apparent, these two things can't both be true. Well, yes, they can. If we're grounded in ourselves, then we can work with other people. And Queen of Wands in no way gets compromised into some group effort that isn't something she's drawn to or intuitively thinks will empower her more. She's all about self-empowerment and building that same situation where other people are empowered right along with her. Sort of all boats shall rise philosophy. On 8 of Swords, Tower. Tower blows away the old way. It liberates us from this situation that may have been an attempt at stability. I won't think about my feelings. I won't think much about anything. I'll just sort of exist. As long as I don't think about it, it gives me the flash of memory of the old cartoons where somebody would go run off the cliff, and because they didn't look down, they were okay being in thin air, and suddenly they look down and woof. 8 of Swords can only exist when we're not looking at things, when we're in denial, when we don't want to know sword energy. And this is like the epiphany comes in and blasts this mental trap wide open. Wide open. And it's replaced by this kind of enlightenment. Makes me smile. Yeah, indeed. King of Pentacles on Hermit. Hermit is earth energy. King of Pentacles is the highest expression in 3D of 3D-ness. Of the active principle, the masculine energy. And it's interesting too, because this again is this sort of solitary energy, and this is somebody who will caretake, who's concerned about everybody, within their reach. Pentacles energy, who I can actually touch and have contact with their lives. So it's again that apparent paradox that actually, if you can hold both things to be true, that kicks you into a different level of, that's a new way of thinking entirely. It blasts you out of the limited frame of beliefs. 8 of Swords. On Queen of Wands, 7 of Wands. That's a kind of a back off energy. And Queen of Wands would do, she could throw up a boundary pretty quickly against somebody she thought was there to sap her power. She may be guarded based on what she's experienced in the past. Some kind of betrayal, some kind of dead on arrival situation. Doesn't want to do that again. Tell me about 3 of Pentacles, but she's down to clown. Well, is she? That's the question mark, I'm confused. I kind of don't know whether to block or participate somehow in this question of connection. This is the question, right? Like, I don't understand, I don't know, I don't see it. Of connection, Cups energy. How do I connect? What kind of love is this? How are we going to agree on it? Can we be on the same page? Can we also approach it with a kind of open heart? Understanding that we don't know. We'll discover it together. Each of us has to have, goes on this solo pilgrimage but it is something we can share in 3D. And this person wants to share the dawning, like the dawning understanding. And it's not really dawning, it's sort of more like the epiphany, like the boom. What just, it's like, what just happened? And it might be like I thought I was constructing something cooperative with somebody. It got very confusing. And then there was this explosion. I'm not really sure. It could go a couple of ways. For some reason, I'm finding it amusing, and I don't think it really looks all that amusing. But what about, okay. The question was, what about these cycles ending on 10 of Wands? Well, whatever it was cleared the way. Libra energy, a clarity about relationship, and a decision that clarifies. And it's a decision of what to let go of and what to maintain. How to get into balance in a relationship. It's almost like when this goes boom, somebody then picks up the pieces that are no longer needed. Maybe they'll be needed later, they might be useful later, but they're not useful for this cycle, for this relationship, the two sides of the scales. In order to attain this equilibrium, in order to let the scales balance out, something was heavily weighted, like somebody had their finger on the scales, or somebody was maybe putting too much responsibility on the other person. That's no longer viable, Tower. And this is a card I see of Scorpio. So it's feelings that are undergoing this incredibly dramatic change. On 10 of Swords, this kind of flatlined, nothing can bring this back to life. 2 of Pentacles. Well, that's like the scales balancing. I mean, it can mean all sorts of things, but it is a choice, like justice, a decision that balances these two things, the two sides of the scale, the two things that somebody was needing to weigh up and answer, make the choice. And it seems to me one of the options was viable. Had a chance to be made real. Maybe because something had ended, or there needed to be a decision because one was no longer viable. So tell us about this. Okay, 2 of Pentacles. We have Queen of Cups. We have Queen of Cups and 5 of Cups. Well, somebody hurt Queen of Cups' feelings. They left her. She's in mourning over something that she once felt a 2 of Cups way about. There was this connection. She thinks it's behind her. It's in the past. What's ahead of her are these empty feelings, or only being able to feel loss. Nine of Cups. Well, there's some kind of turnaround, because this is a card of personal fulfillment. It's a big leap from 5 of Cups to 9 of Cups. This is like dream come true energy. This is sort of like the bad dream. All my best feelings are dashed. And something about what I talked about at the beginning is pertinent, and I can't quite even remember it. When the feelings come back, they come back perhaps like a fire hose. Scorpio energy, card of water of feelings. This is sort of the fire hose. And this is like, or they won't come back at all. Five of Cups. I regret it. I miss the feelings I used to have for somebody. Well, this is also, I'm redirecting it toward myself. 9. Toward what I feel, my highest aspirations, what would make me the happiest. And it might be, I don't know what would make me the happiest. Let's work it out together. And we have to do that in 3D. There are some relationships that can't be, have to come in, you have to come into the same space with the person where they're really in your life before you can begin to find balance with them, to do the dance of change with them. For the two of you to have an exchange of energy, this infinity loop. We have to somehow be in step. We both have to have entered into this in 3D. 2 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. And I think there's a question about how? How is that done? Well, it's work. In Pentacles. You've really got to sit down and hammer it out. How are we going to live? All these questions about what are we going to invest in? How do we make it real? Over time, so that it's about growth. Knight of Wands. This is a card of death. It matches the Queen, right? She was the first card out. It's working with somebody who will meet you in that energy of Queen of Wands to show up. That's also Pentacles energy, but this is like, I know what it is I want to achieve, where I want to put my time and my energy. Oh boy, but I thought something popped out. They're willing to keep trying. I mean, they're the wounded warrior. And that's it. That's what they're working on, is their fire energy to rebuild it. Because, it may be months and months this king was frustrated with what they wanted to do. High Priestess. Card of Divine Feminine, of tapping into your intuition. This isn't doing it or talking about it. The only thing, this is the energy, the only thing we're doing here is seeing through the veil. Seeing beyond words or actions into the heart of things somehow. Also a balanced energy. She sits between these two apparent opposites. It's a decision justice based on intellect, Libra energy, and very much also on a balance intuitively. And between those two things. And a lot will have to be offloaded, 10 of Wands, to get there. And it may be offloaded very dramatically. And it may at first feel like, when you first begin to feel, I said the first thing you feel it might be fear. Well, this is also sadness. But the cups somehow are quickly replenished. You know, sometimes I worry that I always put a positive spin on the cards. But that's how they look to me. There's always this impulse to lean toward the light. One's energy toward the light. Three of Swords. That's painful, heartbreak, King of Cups situation. Now we match twice. Queen of Cups, King of Cups. You know, emotional maturity. And I think it might even be on the basis of healing what went wrong. You know, I got hurt, I stuffed my feelings. Well, they're back. Somehow this king has held space for feelings. You know, he's fought that battle and won in one's energy. There's a victory here. And it's a victory for healing. It's like, go team. The sword energy, you know, which basically has showed up as crap. You know, just, I shouldn't say crap necessarily, but a little bit. The Ten of Swords, the Eight of Swords, the Three of Swords. It's like flatlined, bound up by that, by the memory of the pain, and kind of fixed in place. This Three of Swords piercing the heart. And then there's the Four of Swords, the healing of the heart. And I think principally that's the work. I think King of Swords may have done the work of reparation somehow. You know, because there was some kind of horrific choice that had real ramifications for a good long while. And it got to a sort of boiling point. The feelings went kaboomy. But there was a recalibration. You know, things are back in balance now. And it's sort of also like the outside world of Libra, you know, the system, there's something about the agreed upon truth in Justice card, and in the realm of the mystery, the truth we can't even speak about. You can speak about Libra energy. It's sword energy. It's clear. It's, you know, decisive. Making decisions. Deciding what's fair and what's not fair. This is into the realm of, you know, we can't talk about it. You know, it doesn't mean we can't feel about it. It's just very difficult to put into words. All the sword energies are kind of hurtful and strange, but now there's been a timeout and a healing. I think that's it. And my buttons aren't working, and so it goes. The beat goes on. I love you guys. Thank you for liking, sharing. If you think somebody else could benefit from this, and if you really think somebody could benefit, like it and subscribe, because that just kicks the algorithm and gets it on the move so more people can see it. Much appreciated. I love you guys. And I'll see you next time.